In a quiet village where the mountains met the sea, there lived two brothers. Though they were close in age, their hearts and minds were as different as the sky and the earth. One day they stood at the edge of a wide, fast-flowing river, each with a task to cross to the other side. This was no ordinary river. It was said to hold the wisdom of life's greatest challenges. Jiro, the older one, was known for his strength. He was the kind of man who believed that with enough effort and willpower, he could conquer anything. His muscles were built from years of hard labor, and he faced every challenge head-on, never backing down. Riku, the younger brother, was different. He was quieter, more thoughtful, and always seemed to be searching for meaning in everything. People often said that while Jiro moved mountains, Riku understood the wind. One day they were given the task to cross a wide, fast-flowing river. The villagers had always spoken of this river in hushed tones, for it wasn't an ordinary river. It was said to be a test of who could truly understand life's challenges. "It's just a river," Jiro said with a confident grin, rolling up his sleeves. "I'll swim across in no time. Strength and speed, that's all it takes." Riku, standing beside him, gazed thoughtfully at the river. He watched how the water moved, flowing calmly in some places and rushing wildly in others. "Perhaps," he said softly, "but the river has its own rhythm. Maybe we should follow it, rather than fight it." Jiro scoffed. "You think too much, Riku. I'll meet you on the other side." And without another word, Jiro plunged into the river. At first, it seemed Jiro's plan was working. His powerful strokes cut through the water and he made good progress. But as he ventured deeper, the current grew stronger, pulling him off course. Jiro's arms began to tire, his strength slowly draining as the river pushed back harder and harder. "This can't be right," Jiro thought, frustration bubbling up. He fought the current, trying to overpower it, but the more he fought, the more the river seemed to pull him down. Exhausted and struggling to stay afloat, Jiro was eventually swept downstream, washed ashore, gasping for breath. Meanwhile, Riku stood still, watching the river. He didn't jump in right away. Instead, he walked along the bank, observing. After some time, he found a spot where the river's current was slower, and there, a fallen tree stretched across the water, forming a natural bridge. With a calm smile, Riku carefully stepped onto the tree and began crossing. He moved slowly, balancing himself, taking each step with mindfulness and care. He didn't rush. He didn't fight. He simply flowed, like the river itself. When Riku finally reached the other side, he found Jiro sitting on the shore, soaking wet and breathing heavily. His head hung low. "You made it?" Jiro asked, looking up at his younger brother in disbelief. "How did you cross?" Riku smiled gently and sat down beside him. "I listened to the river," he said. "It showed me the way." Jiro frowned, still confused. "I tried to conquer it, but you flowed with it." Riku nodded. "The river, like life, can't always be conquered with strength. Sometimes wisdom lies in understanding the flow. Instead of fighting the current, you must learn to move with it." The two brothers sat in silence for a while, watching the river flow gently before them. The sky above was painted with soft hues of orange and pink as the sun began to set. And in that quiet moment, Jiro realized something. Life wasn't just about being the strongest or the fastest. Sometimes the greatest strength came from knowing when to let go, when to listen, and when to flow. In life, it's not always the strongest who succeed, but those who understand the path before them. Sometimes, the wisdom to flow with the challenges rather than fight them leads us to the other side.